Welcome back to a patch of state forest in Tasmania's northeast, the venue, Dykes, for the Australian Orienteering Championships, a sport that you know very well.
It's a sport that I know a lot about, Andrew.
Yes.
It's called cunning running, and on that basis you don't qualify. What you need is to be fit. You need to have a map, an excellent sense of direction. I think you have a compass and you go herring out through the bush. Behind us is in fact the grand final, the national championships.
It's a big event held each year with hundreds of competitors, spanning over 8 days, and Tassie's state forest is the perfect location.
The Tasmanian bush stacks up very well, particularly the area around St Helens, this bushy area here. There's a nice variation of spur, gully, granite terrain and some very complex residual mining areas.
Orienteering is a sport on the rise in popularity. It takes fitness, brains and the ability to read a map. So the course is basically made up of these checkpoints scattered about through the bush, and competitors have to find their way using their map and their compass.
It's actually very dangerous. A competitor here knocked herself out yesterday because she was looking at her map and a tree jumped down in front of her and she ran bang straight into it. Take a bearing, take a bearing. This one.
And off you go. In Andrew's case, you hope there's a large and aggressive tiger snake not far away.
Newly crowned National Women's Relay Champions Team Victoria compete around Australia and rate the state forest to the north of St Helens on Tassie's east coast as perfect for their sport.
I love it. I had heaps of fun today. It was really good. Like, huge amounts of rock, which is really kind of technical and fun, and then between that, just big kind of broad areas like this where you could just run really fast, and yeah, it was great.
We conduct a lot of events in forestry Tasmania land, and we're always very grateful for that support that we have had.
Same day and just up the road from the Orienteers, another group of fitness fans are enjoying the outdoors in another piece of state forest. This lot taking advantage of an agreement between a local service club and Forestry Tasmania to open a rail trail for cyclists and other users.
All right, well, today's bike ride is just about to begin, and the interesting thing about this bike ride is it's actually along an old rail trail.
Becoming sort of quite a popular thing, not just here in Tasmania, but mainland Australia and indeed worldwide.
Yes.
Disused rail trails are perfect once you smooth them out for riding your mountain bike.
Yeah, you've got to take the sleepers off, otherwise it's a bit bumpy.
Yeah, it can be bumpy, yeah.
Forestry Tasmania has a community agreement with the North East Rotary Club, and they've put in a considerable amount of time, effort and dollars to clean it up, clear away a lot of the trees and scrub that had fallen across the line over the last 20 or 30 years.
This was the first major hit out for the rail trail, which currently stretches 19 kilometres. Eventually, it's hoped this will just be a bit in the middle of a 135 kilometre touring route for hiking, biking and even horse riding.
Once every 7 years, Tassie's state forests play host to one of the most gruelling equestrian events there is, the Tom Quilty Cup, which requires rider and horse to ride 100 miles in under 24 hours.
It's a 100-mile ride over often pretty challenging terrain. Obviously, your horse and yourself have to build up to it. I mean, you won't get somebody who hasn't ridden a horse a lot that can put up with doing 100 miles.
The Tom Quilty Cup started in 1966 when R.M. Williams got together with renowned stockman Tom Quilty to put on the first event, which was one riding bareback. Since then, the Tom Quilty Cup is the highlight for endurance equestrian riders around the country. Just to finish it is to win.
Everybody that actually vets through at the end of the ride gets inside the 24 hours gets a buckle. So there's a handful of people competitive going for line honours, and then a lot of other people that are really just in it to win a buckle.
Tassie's also fortunate to have the Tasmania Trail, which is 480 kilometres through some of the most spectacular scenery imaginable and the ideal horse adventure.
A couple of years ago we did the Tassie Trail from Devonport to Dover, which was, a lot of that was through forestry owned land, and that, it was magnificent.
It was a great family holiday. We had such a lovely time.
So there you go. If you're a person with an interest or an activity which requires the use of the outdoors, then land managed by Forestry Tasmania is for you. There are no entry fees and you can even take your pet along for the ride.
Along with the uses we've seen today, activities such as four-wheel driving, fishing, motorbike riding, bushwalking, gem fossicking and camping in the bush are all encouraged.
As for the North East Rail Trail, the local Rotary Club is working tirelessly to complete the first stage of what many hope will one day stretch for 135 kilometres, providing a world-class cycling adventure.
Well, that is it for this episode and indeed the series of Going Bush. We hope you've enjoyed our look into Australia's forest industry, a sustainable industry which employs tens of thousands of people and produces high-quality products.
It certainly does. We thank you very much for watching the program and hope to see you next time we're Going Bush.